When you clearly don't work somewhere, but people seem to think you do. Welcome to this episode of I Don't Work Here, Lady. Our story today is from Alkswag, titled, I Don't Serve Coffee, and You're Paying for the Laptop. Obligatory disclaimers. On mobile, non-English speaker, didn't happen in the US. This happened back in 2013. The Nursing Council in my country organizes an annual 3-day convention in order to keep us updated to new developments about our profession. It's not mandatory, but it gathers a lot of people for 2 reasons. 1, you can present a paper or research you worked on and be considered published. And 2, because they do it in a different city every year, it's a good way for a vacation. It usually takes place around the middle of May. Important information. Tourist season in my country begins in April. For about 2 years, the nurses in the company I worked for had combined forces to write a paper about training and educating patients. I was the unlucky sod that had to do the presentation. We apply and they give us a spot early on the first day. The convention is held in a very touristy city in a 5-star hotel. I'm staying in another, cheaper, like €100 per night cheaper, hotel. I go in wearing my dark blue business suit and tie and carrying my laptop. I do the presentation, everything goes well, and afterwards I find a classmate of mine from nursing school and decided to grab a coffee. Because she wants to catch a presentation later on, we decided not to leave the hotel and go to the patio where they had a cafe. We're on the patio catching up and enjoying our coffee in the sun and generally having a good time. The patio was almost full at that point, mostly with student nurses and people from the convention. The cafe's staff is busy with all the people there. At some point, my friend excuses herself to visit the bathroom and I check my phone. Suddenly, I feel someone looming over me, and then I hear a high-pitched, "Excuse me?" I turn my head to see a slightly pissed woman staring daggers at me. She looks like a prototypical Karen. The haircut, the expensive clothes that look cheap, and the attitude. "Me and my friends are waiting for someone to take our order for 5 minutes." She pointed a couple tables over where a couple of women in the same subcategory are sitting. "So?" I asked, confused. "So, get off your break and come take our order." "I don't think so. You have to wait for one of the servers. I don't work for the—" Karen leaning towards me and getting in my face. "Listen up, you peon. We are paying customers and you're going to do as you're told. Break is over." And with that, she sweeps her arms on the table, spilling the coffees and glasses of water on me, but mostly on the laptop I had next to the table. At that point, I'm furious. I get up and there's a noticeable size difference. I'm 6'4", 225. She's maybe 5'6" on 3-inch heels. "Listen up, you little bitch. I don't work here, and even if I did, I wouldn't serve people with your attitude. And if something happened to the laptop, you're paying for it." "You dare to threaten me? Me? Do you know who I am?" "No, and I don't give a shit. You're just an entitled bitch." At that point, a lot of people were looking at us, and a server was coming over. The servers were dressed in black pants, white t-shirt, and a black apron. And Karen decided to try to slap me. I caught her hand as the server came next to us. "What is happening here?" "Your colleague is refusing to take our order and is threatening me." Server taking a look at me. "Madam, this man doesn't work here. He is a customer." Apparently, her little brain couldn't compute because she continued foaming until a manager and security appeared. When the manager asked what happened, I replied, "This woman insulted me, deliberately dropped coffee on me and my personal belongings, and tried to attack me. I would like to press charges." The implication of getting the police involved led to another rant by Karen. How it was discriminating against foreign tourists and she would sue me and the hotel, and how we should respect our betters. You know, lovely stuff. The aftermath was that I pressed charges and Karen was kicked out of the hotel. I don't know what happened to the rest of her clique. The laptop was ruined. The bag zipper was slightly open, and all the coffee poured directly on the laptop. The hotel offered my full paid weekend reservation at the time of my choosing, and about a year later, I received a hefty settlement for the incident, about 3,500 euros. The way Karen opened up was just all wrong. Assuming that you worked there instead of asking if you worked there, that probably would have been a better start to ask. However, we know Karens like to just assume, and they're always right, at least according to them. In this case, she was wrong, and I'm glad that karma came back and got her immediately. And our final one is by Bradley547, titled, "It's Where?" I am the asshole in this one. This happened to me very shortly after I got out of the Navy. A little background. In the Navy, we tend to be a bit rough with language. Who knew? And quite often, the first response to any inquiry will be crude, sarcastic, and completely unhelpful, usually to be followed by laughter at your misery from your shipmates. Occasionally, one of these sarcastic remarks will gain legs and become the default response for any related request. It becomes second nature to reply without thinking. Well, on my ship, this is exactly what happened. Given that, 3 months after my discharge, my first job out of the service was a field service tech for a cash register company. Our uniform was khaki pants, collared short-sleeve shirt, and a tie. And I was still sporting my Navy regulation haircut. Basically, if I went to any mid-range retail establishment, I was Karen bait because I was obviously the manager. So I'm shopping at a large chain drugstore, looking for isopropyl alcohol, essential for cleaning printer ink off of cash register printers back in the day. And a woman comes up behind me and asks, "Can you tell me where the curling irons are?" Without missing a beat, more importantly, without allowing my civilian filter to kick in, I say, "If they were up your ass, you'd know." Oh poop, I did not just say that. I turn to look at her and see her in full surprised owl mode, eyes the size of saucers and mouth wide open. I could feel my face turning red, so I dropped my basket and booked it out of there before she had a chance to boot into Karen mode. To this day, 40 odd years later, I've not been brave enough to set foot into that store again. My guess is Karen was not expecting that response, and the fact that you just quipped that so quick out of habit, it probably just didn't register to her. The fact that you don't want to go into that store again though is funny. Alright, that's enough stories for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of I Don't Work Here Lady. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell. It really helps my channel out. And drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.